The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.
Hey, so do you have friends and family in Philly listening to you right now?
I do. Honestly, I was let me just say thank you because this is such an honor. Like, this is the morning show. And on top of that, Q102 is like my childhood station that I listened to my whole life.
Mine too.
So the thought of being on Q102 is like total goosebumps.
You're on. You know, they fired me one time.
I know. I don't
I
want to play politics here.
No, we're back though. We're back there. Hey, Cole Redding, by the way, and we're going to play his song Father, Father in a second, which has a great story. How old are you, by the way?
26.
Okay, 26. So, Fleetwood Mac. So what music was influencing you as a kid? Obviously, your parents listened to Fleetwood Mac? Or
Yeah, so when I grew up, I remember the first thing it was weird. So, like, when I was like 4 years old, I loved the Carpenters. And then it was like the Bee Gees the next year. And then there was this bed of just sort of classic music between like Motown, like I'm a big Aretha guy, big Temps guy, and a lot of the 70s rock, which my dad listened to, so like ELO, Fleetwood Mac, Zeppelin, Beatles, Stones, all of this great music.
Right.
And then I remember getting to kindergarten and I probably shouldn't say this, bought my first Spice Girls cassette. That's the truth.
So
and
you
then
like all types of music then?
Yeah, totally. And then to me, like, I just love a great song. So like I'm such a music fan. And I always want to know who inspired the people I love from today.
That's the
trace
key.
it back. That's really important.
Because I'll tell you, you grew up inspired by the same music. I grew the same exact music, but I heard them when they were new.
Yeah.
What really makes me crazy, Cole, is we'll talk about an artist that passes away, and a lot of younger people today don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
But the artists they love do. I want everyone to be appreciating music from way back when, and you obviously do.
100%. I think as an artist too, like it's weird not to know. It would be like an artist not knowing Picasso or not knowing one of these greats that inspired everything after them.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
And speaking of death, George Michael. I heard a George Michael reference.
Can I just
broke
say,
my freaking heart.
You kind of move like George Michael. When I watch you, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with George Michael growing up. So watching, I'm like, yeah, he's got a little George Michael. I love it.
I like more in George Michael for like 6 months.
Yeah, me too.
So Cole Redding, by the way, born and raised in the Philadelphia area, listening to Q102, and influenced by great music from obviously a musical family. How did you arrive here today? I mean, what have you been doing to get this career started? I mean, what's your journey like?
How much time do we have?
Well, not a lot. I wish we had more.
Yeah, totally. So,
by the way, we're going to run a little late on this, Nate. So let's just calm down. We found someone we like. Nate's the one who gets all nervous. He's nervous Nelly over there.
No, Nate and I are buddies.
Oh, no. Well, he's trying to cut your time.
I complimented his hair.
And you know what? Ken Lane went on way too long earlier.
Well, that's per usual. Per usual. So basically, my journey is, music has been like my comfort blanket my whole life. Totally brings me joy, like calms me when I'm in pain, et cetera, et cetera. And when I was like 12, I realized I could sing. And I started singing throughout my teenage years. Unfortunately, from like 13 to 20, I had like a really rough go as a teenager, really insecure. Just did not like myself. Like a lot of identity issues. So I had things to grapple with inside of me that took a while to come to terms with. Unfortunately, through all of that, I made like a path of destruction because I'm a recovering alcoholic. So during those teenage years, I was self-medicating.
Right.
And 13 to 20 was like, they were like the lost years.
And as lost as those years were, though, Cole, without those, would you be the artist you are today?
Oh, no.
Okay, there you go. I'm not saying anyone should be thankful for being an alcoholic, but...
No, I mean, like, it absolutely shaped me as a human being. So right before I got sober, I met a producer who I work with now and worked with, like, in the Bon Jovi camp, and John was such a champion off the bat. Unfortunately, from, like, 18 to 20, I wrecked a lot of relationships. So at 20, I remember calling my producer and saying, like, I got to go into a treatment center. So, like, I hid away for 35 months. He basically said, listen, take 6 months and, like, take music off your back. Figure out who you are as a human being and how to move on.
Right.
So I took 6 months, got my stuff together, started working with, like, a bunch of younger producers, writing songs, and nothing was feeling honest. Like, I didn't feel emotionally attached to anything until I went back to that same producer and tried to mend the relationship. And we sat at a piano and he said, what do you want to say? And, like, to me, that statement, I will never forget him saying, what do you want to say? Because I realized this was this gift for me to be able to work through all of my past experience, all trauma, talked about everything that shaped me, broke my heart, made me who I am. And after 6 months, we intended on doing 3 songs, and we realized we had a full album's worth of material.
You had a lot to say.
Yeah, and the thing is, as I went on, all of these situations in my life just turned into songs. So I'd go into a writing session and go, this like tore me up inside, or this is something that I'm really grappling with now, or I'm inspired by. We would just make it a song. And the moment I made it a song, it was like I could make peace with whatever that was.
Which brings us to Father, Father.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right. Now, Father, Father, very appropriate, being Father's Day weekend.
Yep.
Cole Redding wrote this song, and it's about your father. And, of course, obviously, in lyrics I've heard in this song, there was definitely some heartbreak, and there was some pain in this, with, I'm assuming, some resolution as well. Tell us about Father, Father, because we got to play it, but tell us about what inspired it and what it's all about.
Yeah, so I had a beautiful relationship with my dad growing up. Really loved my dad, admired my dad. And after I got sober, my parents split at 18. That was fine. I wanted them to be better off on their own. It wasn't right. So he met a woman and just very, very quickly started becoming someone I didn't really recognize, which was really hard. It's hard to speak to someone you know so well, but all of their attributes, all their opinions are something that are foreign to you. So over the course of like 6 months to a year, I kept trying to repair the relationship and like talk to him like as a human being and get inside of him. And the gulf, like there are lyrics in the song that says, have we grown so far apart that this is how it ends? The gulf just kept growing and growing. And I tried to speak to his family and his like lifetime friends. And unfortunately now, like my sister, his lifetime friends, most of his family, I don't know anything about his life, which is really heartbreaking because like, my dad's alive.
Father.
Like he's alive. And honestly, I am not, this was a heartbreaking situation, but I'm not angry. I have no hate. Like it's, even in the video, this is like a public letter of love, but I think everyone has their own journey and they have to want to do something.
Now, how has your father responded to this song?
I don't know, which is really upsetting. But
I know, but he's going to hear it.
I would love him to hear it. When I cut this demo, I dropped the demo.
I bet he's already heard it.
I don't know. I mean, you would imagine.
Where is he living?
Like,
let's take it over. Let's take it over his house.
I was just about to say where he lives, and I'm not doing that.
What's the address?
I have more respect.
What's his phone number? Let's all call him.
No, my dad's a good guy. Just lost his way. So, but when I cut this demo, I put it on I drove it to his doorstep and put it in a manila envelope out of respect.
Wow.
This was like 2 years ago.
Well, so you know he's heard it. You just don't know what his response is.
Yeah.
He owes you a response, by the way.
I think it's a pretty good song.
Your father owes you a response. With that said, Cole Redding, I can't wait to see more of you and hear more from you. We're gonna leave it now by playing Father, Father, and I want you to listen to the lyrics and listen to his voice as it plays with the lyrics, because the two really work really well together.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming in today.
Oh, it was such a pleasure. Thank you, everyone.
Wait, is this the first time you've heard your song on the radio?
It's been playing on Sirius XM, but this is the first time on Q102.
Yeah, Sirius XM.
So
it's a satellite.
everyone who knows me in Philadelphia is going to be celebrating.
There you go.
I think.